In this video, we are going to be talking about Le Chatelier's principle. Basically, what this talks about is what happens when you take a system at equilibrium and you take it out of equilibrium. What does that system do and how does it get itself back to equilibrium? So by definition, when we make a change to a system at equilibrium, that system will shift to minimize that change. And I want you to think about a system at equilibrium like a seesaw. R is going to represent my reactants and P is going to represent my products. When I have my system at balance, it's going to look like a seesaw that is at balance, right? This red ball here in the middle of my teeter-totter, the middle of my seesaw, when I make a change, that ball is going to roll in the direction that change will affect. So it's going to tell you which way that system is going to shift to minimize that change in equilibrium or to get itself back to equilibrium. So here we're going to talk about what happens when we change the concentration of either the reactants or the products and how that system tries to get itself back to equilibrium. So when we're talking about concentration, I want you to be thinking about amounts or number of particles. Okay. What's going to happen is we are either going to add or remove either reactants or products, and that is going to change that teeter-totter, right? So I may add, and I'm a little opposite here. So I'm going to focus on the pictures more than moving my arms. But as I add to one side, I'm going to cause that to lift up. And what's going to happen to that ball? That ball's going to roll towards the opposite side. If I take away, I'm going to cause that teeter-totter to shift to the other side, and of course I'm going to cause that ball to roll back to where I took away from. So we'll kind of logic our way through using these pictures. The nice thing is that you can use these on your own and literally do this as you're trying to figure out which way that equilibrium is shifted. All right, so let's talk about what happens when we add reactant. So when I add reactant, I'm lifting up the reactant side of that teeter-totter. Now remember, the goal is to eventually look like this, right? We want to be flat. So when I lift up the R, that ball is going to roll down towards the products. So that means that if I add more reactant, that equilibrium is going to shift to the products. What's actually happening is that I am shifting the reaction towards the products. So more reactant is reacting to create more products, right? So until I have lifted that back up so it comes back up to equilibrium. Now let's talk about what happens when I remove reactants. I cause that teeter-totter to shift, right? But I cause it to shift down. And so now that ball is going to roll towards the reactants. And so I have shifted my equilibrium to the reactants. And so literally what I am doing is I am causing that product to react with itself to lift the reactants back up so that I am back to equilibrium. So I'm back to that flat teeter-totter. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, but with the products. First one up here, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to add products. So I am lifting up the product side of that teeter-totter. That ball is going to roll to R, which means that my equilibrium is shifted to the reactants. Okay, so it's the same exact argument. More product is going to react to create more reactant. And again, until I lift up that reactant side so that I'm back to even. I'm back to a nice flat teeter-totter. The same thing is going to happen when I remove my products. When I remove my products, notice that my ball moves down towards my products. And so this equilibrium is going to be shifted to my products. So again, I'm going to take the product away. More reactant is going to have to react, right, to lift up that product side to get ourselves back to even. What happens to equilibrium when we change the temperature? And the first thing we need to think about is whether or not heat is a reactant or heat is a product. So with all reactions, heat can either be a reactant, and generally those reactions are going to feel cold to you, or heat can be a product, and a lot of reactions give off heat. And so those reactions are going to feel warm to you. So again, you want to think about adding or removing heat. So let's go ahead and add that in here. So you want to think about adding or removing. Okay. Keeping in mind that this is our goal, we want to get ourselves back to that flat equilibrium. And so the first thing we're going to do, and on this side, I'm going to be looking at heat as a reactant. And so we're going to essentially run through exactly what we did on the last slide. If heat is a reactant, and I am adding heat here, I am causing the ball to roll to the product side, and so I am shifting my equilibrium to the products. Again, if heat is a reactant and I decrease heat, so I would be removing heat. That should be an H. So I'm removing heat. I am causing that ball to roll towards R, right? So I'm shifting my products, or shifting my equilibrium to the reactants. Now, heat can also be a product. Here, we're going to deal with heat. As a product. So imagine heat is being released. If heat's a product and I'm adding heat, I'm causing that to shift towards the reactants. And on the flip side, if I remove heat, I cause the ball to shift towards the products, and so in this case my equilibrium will shift to the products. Now I will tell you, this takes a lot of reasoning and kind of going through over and over and over again until it really starts to stick. So definitely practice this as much as you can. So the last piece we're going to talk about is how the body regulates its temperature. So the body is in a constant state of keeping itself at equilibrium, so homeostasis. And so the body is going to try to regulate our temperature so that we don't get too hot or too cold. Right? We want to stay right in that sweet spot for our temperature. Now, when it gets hot outside and our body temperature starts to rise, the body signals to have the blood vessels dilate, which results in heat loss to the environment. Or the body will also activate the sweat glands, secrete water, and as that water evaporates, that's a cooling mechanism, right? That's going to remove energy from the body, and so heat is going to be lost, and it'll help to cool the body down and come back to a normal body temperature. Now, as the temperature falls, and I'm sure we've all experienced this when it gets very cold outside, the blood vessels constrict so that the heat is conserved. And then the sweat glands do not secrete fluid, but what happens is that the body starts shivering. So you have this involuntary contraction of the muscles, and that helps to generate heat, which helps to warm the body. So this is something that is consistently going on as the temperatures fluctuate, and there are other mechanisms in the body that undergo this same coming back to equilibrium. So this is it for temperature and how the body helps to regulate normal body temperature.